So before we are moving into the novel, so what are the things happening while writing or publishing the novel in the society? So what are the things happen in the society? Yes. So while writing this, The Strange Case of Billy Biswas by ARUN. So reorganization of Northeast Act in 1971, SIMLA Pact, GP movement, emergency, and contribution of Anita Noyer. So these are the um, background topics of this novel. So that reorganization of Northeast Act in the year of 1971. Actually, this act was passed by a parliament um, for the establishment of the states of Manipur and Tripura and formation of the state of Meghalaya and the union territories of Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. So for this states establishment, they have passed this Northeast Act, and also they provided for representation in the legislatures and allocation of sitting members representing the existing union territories of Manipur and Tripura. So the elections were conducted to fill the seats which are allotted to the state of Meghalaya and the union territories of Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. Then Simla Pact. So the Simla Pact, also called Simla Agreement, was signed between India and Pakistan on 2nd July 1972 in Shimla, the city capital of Himachal Pradesh. So this pact it was followed from. So this Simla Pact is followed from the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971 that lead to the independence of Bangladesh. Then after that the treaty was signed in Simla by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the president of Pakistan, and Indira Gandhi, the prime minister of India. So the agreement also paved the way for diplomatic recognition of Bangladesh by Pakistan. And also the result of this agreement was to resolve both the countries to put an end to the conflict and confrontation that have their relations. So it laid down the steps to be taken for further normalization of mutual relations. It also provided for the principles that should govern their future relations. And some of the major outcomes of this Simla agreement are both countries will settle their differences by peaceful means through bilateral negotiations. Then the agreement converted the ceasefire line of 17 December 1971 into the line of control between India and Pakistan, and it was agreed that neither side shall seek to alter it unilaterally, irrespective of mutual differences and legal interpretations. And after that Simla Pact, this is a JP movement. Actually, Jayaprakash Narayanan, he was born in the year of October 1902, and he is popular referred to as JP or Lok Noyak. He was a freedom fighter, socialist, and a political leader. And he is also known as a hero of Quit India movement. So he is remembered for leading the mid-1970s opposition against Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, for whose overthrow he had called for a total revolution. So in 1999, he was posthumously awarded the Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award in recognition of his social work. So then the Bega government used brutal force to suppress the movement, and on 18 March 1974, police fired on unarmed demonstrators and 8 people were killed in police firing. On 8 April 1974, aged 72, he led a silent procession at Patna. So on 5 June 1974, he addressed a large crowd at the Gandhi Maidan in Patna. He declared, "This is a revolution, friends. We are not here merely to see the within Sabha dissolved." So after 1974, he led the students' movement, and 1975, Indira Gandhi was found guilty of violating electoral laws by the Allahabad High Court. So immediately afterwards, Gandhi he proclaimed a national emergency on the midnight of 25 June 1975, and Last one is emergency. This is declared during between 25 June 1975 to 21 March 1977. Actually, it has been declared thrice. So first between 1962 to 1968 during India-China war, and second 3 to 17 December 1971 during in Indo-Pakistan war, and third one during 1975 to 1977 for controversial circumstances of political instability under Indira Gandhi's prime ministership. So this is the newspaper and proof for that emergency, and contribution of Anita Noyer, and she has published 6 books for children, 3 original audio books, and a collection of books, essays. She has written 2 plays, and for the screenplays also. So she was working as a creative director, advertising agency in Bangalore. Yes, now we are coming to our novelist Arun Joshi. So before that, what we have seen, as I told you in the beginning of this uh, novel, contemporary, what other thing happened while writing this novel or while publishing novels. So usually when any of the writers starts to write, some of the thing might have influenced them to write the particular work, particular drama or novel or poetry, whatever it might be. So some of the thing might have influenced them to write the work. So likewise, this novel also might be influenced by all those background things, like a Simla Pact or JP movements. Of course, the protagonist also suffered by all those things. Is We are going to see that. So Arun Joshi was an Indian writer. He is known for his extraordinary novels, The Strange Case of Billy Biswas and The Apprentice. He won the prestigious Sahitya Akademi Award for his novel The Last Labyrinth in 1982, and his other novels are The Foreigner, The Apprentice, The City and the River, The Last Labyrinth, and he has also written the Puffin books of myths and legends, and edited by The Rain is Born 2003, and Mistress Adventures of Nonu, the Skating Squirrel, Living Next Door to Alice, Magical Indian Myths. Then Alphabet Soup for Lovers, the Like Cup House. Then he was born in Varanasi in the year of 1939. He completed his higher education in the US. After that, he returned to India to become an industrial manager. He kept himself out of the limelight, wrote in the pre-Rushdie's era when Indian writing in English was something only eccentric people indulged in. So his novels deal with the existentialism along with the ethical choices of man has to make. So it won huge critical appreciation in India but remained largely unknown in the West. Now about the novel The Strange Case of Billy Biswas. This is about the story of Billy Biswas narrated by his one-time roommate Romi. Actually, Romi's Sahai. His full name is Romesh Sahai. So belongs to the upper strata of the Indian society, member of the aristocratic heritage. Originally from Bengal, his grandfather had been the prime minister of a famous princely state in Orissa. So his father had been ambassador to a European country, went on to become judge of the Supreme Court of India. So Billy goes to America to study anthropology. The story begins with the description of the association of 2 Indian students in New York. So Romy meets Billy while desperately searching for a room. Romy is surprised to find that a man like Billy can live in the Harlem, the black ghetto in white America. So, but it is a natural choice for Billy Biswas because he feels that it was the most human place he could find. So, Tula Lindgren, Billy's Swedish girlfriend, and Romeo are the only person who had any clue to what went on in the dark, inscrutable, unsmiling eyes of Billy Biswas. So about his education, he's doing his PhD in anthropology, although his father thinks that his son is doing engineering, but he's doing his anthropology, is the science of humanity. So this term it comes from Greek anthropos, man, understood to mean humankind or humanity, and logia, discourse or study. So to have a knowledge about man. So he explains, all I want to do in life is to visit the place they describe, meet the people who live there, find out the aboriginals of the world. So he has a passion to penetrate deep into human life, not just for the surface realities. Though he has stayed in America for long, Billy has not lost his roots in India. So his return to India. So Billy finds himself a misfit in America and he itches to come back to India. Um, so he wants to be in his motherland. Is already he learns anthropology. He wants to know about human society and he wants to know the meaning of his life and also the meaning of this human being in the society in this world. So after completing his PhD, Billy returns to Delhi to experience only a change of scene with reality remaining almost the same as in white America. So he realizes that the upper crust of Indian society in Delhi is as spiritually dead and emotionally empty as materialistic America. So, after he realizes these things, he finds himself misfit to the society. Yes, so he feels like a fish out of a water in the westernized Delhi society. So there is a sense of estrangement from and lack of meaningful communication with the society. So he joins Delhi University as a teacher of anthropology. Um, After that, he decides to marry in order to settle down in life and get rid of his obsession. So he marries Bengali girl Meena Chatterjee, who is quite unusually pretty in a westernized sort of a way. So he marries in a hurry because a strange hallucination and constant awareness of the meaningless of life leaves him depressed. So he has grown terribly afraid of some part in him. So marriage is like taking out an insurance on his normality. So but soon after marriage he realizes that he has committed a blunder. So Meena is concerned about money and does not emphasize with him. So there is absolutely no communication between the husband and wife, and the marriage soon turns out to be a battlefield. So Meena herself says, perhaps I don't understand him as a wife should. So this failure with marriage turns him introvert and lackadaisical. So he feels restless and isolated. So when Romy visits him after a year, he is surprised to see the chance in him and remarks. So the lines in the novel, gone was a string, staggering intelligence, the spectroscopic interest, the sense of humor, the Billy Biswas I had known was finished, so snuffed out like a candle left in the rain. So insensitivity and corrupt society with its artificiality seem to smoother Billy's sensibility. So he begins to lose grip on his life. So after this, he has a shameful affair with Rima Call. So the shocking realization of his own corruption accelerates his fight from civilization. So in order to forest himself, Billy takes to anthropological expedition to various parts of India. One such expedition takes him to Maikla Hills in central India. So Billy's disappearance. So Billy disappears in the wild, dark terrains of McLachlan's. So this leads to tremendous commotion and a massive manhunt. So various theories in advance accepted that Billy might have been killed by a man-eater. So Billy's mother cannot survive the shock. His case is closed. So Billy's disappearance, a termination of the first phase of his life. So meaninglessness. So to him, the upper crust is a room full of finely dressed men and women is like a kennel of dogs yawning or snuggling against each other or holding whiskey glasses in their furred bars. So he finds the life meaningless and sordid. So one such letter reveals his agonizing quest for identity. Who am I? Who are my parents, my wife, my child? So Billy's disappearance not a decision taken on sudden impulse. He is out of tuned with the civilized world, end of his stay in civilized society. So he realizes that the civilized society is materialistically and emotionally dehydrated. So this is clear from the letters written to Tula. So he writes, when I return from an expedition, it is days before I can shake off the sounds and smells of the forest. So the curious feeling trails me everywhere that I am a visitor. From the wilderness to the marts of the big city and not the other way round. So now the second phase of Billy's life. So the second part of the novel begins 10 years after the disappearance of Billy with his accidental meeting with Romy. Romy, now a district collector in central India, runs into Billy under extraordinary circumstances. A terrible drought in central India, acute scarcity of food and drinking water. While visiting the worst hit areas, Romy comes across Billy, now a completely changed person. So Billy, thoroughly tribalized, wears only a lion cloth. Romy is completely shocked. Romy takes him to his bungalow and he gives his news of his family and the death of his mother. He receives the news with complete non-challenge. He appears completely out of touch with his happiness in the world outside the forest. So Billy tells Romy the circumstances leading to his disappearance. So it was during his anthropological expedition in the Mycla Hills that Billy meets Belasha, the niece of the tribal chieftain, and his Mahaprasad, that is his greatest friend, Tunia. The meeting with Vilasha in Dunia's cottage on the night before his disappearance brought about a change in him. It was as though during that half hour it was not Vilasha I had been waiting for, but my future, my past, indeed the very purpose of my life. So a very significant incident and happened in Billy's life at Bhubaneswar when he was only 14. He faced the mystery of the other world and became aware of not only of his craft but also of his interest in his identity. So the search that began at Bhubaneswar ended in the Mycla forest, which was his. So with this, the novel ends. So what Arun Joshi, the novelist of this, the strange case of Billy Biswas, tried to say to the reader that nowadays everyone running after money, they forget human values. Um, um, what to say, people are giving more importance to money. Yes, they want to earn money. Yes, because the society is also like that. They are everywhere, wherever we go, money. This is so apart from the human values, apart from the human emotions, the human feelings, that is the most important thing in this world. Yes, but they forgot to realize that they are running after money. And what is the purpose of that? Yes, is this the meaning of our life? So these are the things Arun Joshi wants to um, uh, tells to the readers wants to realize the thing. Yes, that is the message of this novel. Thank you.